Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and extraterrestrials to the Humansplaining podcast. It is the worst podcast on this galaxy. And today I'm joined by Harry Mattadeen, who I've been connected to on Facebook for, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years now. We sort of exchange banter in the comment section, as you do. And he's written a few books on Sungazing, Urine Therapy, negative ions, and what was the other one?
Transcendental meditation. Transcendental
meditation. And yeah, he's just an explorer of consciousness, always looking for so-called alternative health, which is really the original principles of health.
Yeah.
And just kind of like me, doesn't really buy into the mainstream narrative of things, and yeah, just searches for truth on his own terms. So Harry, welcome to the show, and yeah, just good to have you here, man.
Yeah, thank you very much, Guy, for having me on. A pleasure to talk to you today about a bit of my story, if you want, and the health protocols and how I got into this journey. And yeah, like you said, it's a good intro. It's, expanding consciousness is a great way of really what we're doing. Is it physical health? Is it spiritual, emotional health? What they all link together? They all expanding consciousness. Definitely, I like it.
So let's start with probably one of the most controversial topics, the urine therapy, which is something that I've dealt with a bit. Some people, as soon as you mention the word urine, they're already standoffish. But not a problem for me personally. But what would you say to someone who's maybe dealing with some chronic health issues, and maybe urine could help with that? Maybe it's something to do with parasites or a skin condition, or what would you say to help them get over maybe the squeamishness around the urine that comes from their own body?
Right. Well, firstly, what I've noticed with most of the people like yourself, me, and many others that we know of on Facebook and the real world that actually do the therapy is we often don't come to these until we have these issues. So if your life is going swimmingly and okay and you don't have health issues, quite often you won't be dedicated. You won't even get past the point of trying. So like you said, yeah, it's nice when someone is, in that unfortunate situation of being ill, having a problem, being depressed, having any kind of mental, physical disease or anything. So for those people, how to start? There are many ways. It depends on the level. I was hardcore. I'm pretty sure you went in full leather too, I'm guessing. We just drank fresh first of the morning urines is a good one, or any type of urine, but we drank it. However, there are ways of taking it in that don't require you being so hardcore and drinking it straight up the bat. You can dilute it with your favorite juices if you're averse to the taste, which, by the way, never tastes that bad as people say. People always worry about that taste, and when they try it, they're really surprised that it doesn't taste as bad because it's all in the mind. And because, Guy, we've all been programmed to believe from birth that urine is a waste product somehow. And we found out that it definitely isn't. And I believe it's a deliberate policy to keep people unhealthy. So they have to put it in place, because if it's true, what we're saying, urine therapy is really good, then everyone will get healthy, and the powers that be can't be having that. So kind of to answer your question, there are ways of doing it. You can dilute it down. You don't even have to drink it. If you don't like the smell, you can put it on your skin, because that transdermally takes it in. That way you'll actually see the results of beautiful skin too, and that could be useful for people that want to look want to look youthful, want to look younger, a bit more vain. We've got all angles with urine therapy. It doesn't really matter why you come into urine therapy, but once you do, you realize the legitimacy of it, and then you stick with the protocols, and even if you don't stick with it daily, you know that it's a weapon you can use if you ever get in trouble. So yeah, if you get stinging bite, you get bitten, you get a wound, a cut, a bruise. It's magical, and yeah, it's just a magical therapy.
And I've looked on the back of some pharmaceutical products, and some of them even contain uric acid. So they're using urine anyway, but a lot of people don't even realize.
It's true.
It's not necessarily human urine, it's from sheep or,
That's an interesting one you just said there. Also, urea is it's one of the major products that's in moisturizers and creams, and that is the major reason why my skin, your skin, or anyone's skin, when you put it on your skin, even the fresh urine, we'll get to if you want to in a bit. Aged urine, that's a whole different ball game, another level that might scare people. But just for the fresh urine, you put it on your skin, it makes your skin look so young. And like you said, the uric acid, the urea, which both people assume are waste products, again, just like people assume urine's a waste product. Actually, if you go on Google and look at them properly, they are not. They make the skin glow. And it's the secret of how to look young and how to look much younger is urine therapy topically on your skin. It really does make you.
So if someone, say they've gotten over their initial reservations, if they were to start drinking it, you can have sort of adverse conditions, right? If you just go full force into it, you can have diarrhea and maybe a bit of an upset stomach. So how would you recommend someone start? I know I'm not allowed to provide medical advice or any of that sort of stuff, but if you were to advise yourself in the past, how would you suggest to yourself how to start out from scratch?
Right. Yeah. Well, I went hell for leather, and I was lucky. I had an understanding of detox reactions. So what happened with me is I drank fresh urine. I went to the toilet and I couldn't stop pooing in the toilet, like you said earlier. You're just gonna have these kind of migraines or poos. So that's you can do it. There's nothing wrong with that, but it might be a bit annoying for people. And people, just as long as you know that's not you getting ill and the medicine not working, that's you getting better. And you have to go through detox worse to come up. So you can do that like I did, or you can go much slower. So you could dilute it down. You can start with your first of the morning urine. Don't have to drink all of it. Wait for the midstream, not the beginning or the end, just the midstream. You can put it in topic. When you put it in topically, hardly any is used because it makes a real good use of the medicine, and it's very little going in, but very powerful. So yeah, you're right. For a lot of people, if you're new to health, either you have an understanding that you're going to get worse and have these reactions, or you can take it nice and slow. And there's nothing wrong with going slow in health and doing very small amounts, diluting it down, dropping it under the tongue. Another way you can take urine is buying a dropper bottle, peeing in it and putting it under the tongue and holding it there. That's very powerful, like a homeopathic remedies. And what you do is you build up tolerance to detox. So every couple of days you increase the amounts of under the tongue, increase the amounts you're drinking, and then you'll have a much smoother process, and you'll come up better than, say, what I did. And what we do is like go too far down and then get better, and we get it all out too quickly, which is okay. But yeah, the smooth way is definitely admirable too. That's it.
Yeah. I've always been the kind of guy that just dives head into things, and then sometimes later I'm like, oh, I wish I'd done it a different way. So I think that's probably some good tips for people that are just starting out.
How did your detox go? What happened to you? Did you have severe reaction?
I had some diarrhea the first time because I was just like, oh well, I'm tough, I can handle it. But just drank a whole glass of urine and sitting on the toilet for pretty much the whole of the next day. But after that, I sort of backed off a bit and then tried again, and I didn't have any problems after that. So it's just a matter of like taking it slow. Yeah,
same with me with the bowels. That's literally, the bowels are so dirty. Our bowels are so dirty. It's getting a good old clean for the first time in its life. So it's really powerful medicine. That's just fresh urine we're talking about here. So that's crazy, And
parasites. Is that a subject that maybe we should talk about next? Because a lot of people don't realize how pervasive parasites are in their body and on their skin even, and and I think there's also maybe a role for said parasites because people with a lot of heavy metals, for example, tend to have more parasites. The parasites use the heavy metals and feed off the byproducts of certain chemical pollutants and things like that. So they're actually serving a function. It's just in a lot of people's bodies, as was in the case of my body, the population gets out of balance. I've had candida growth, and that caused a bit of a problem for me. But it's not the parasites themselves that are the problem, in my experience, in my understanding. It's the population control that's the problem. So, this is something that I've tried to talk to friends and family about, but they don't believe me when I say, like, most of us have too many parasites. How would you maybe talk them into accepting, at least being open to the possibility? Or is it something that we can even talk others into, or do they have to sort of go on their own journey? I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a really good question. So I'd say that you have to, the things I've learned in life, and probably you too, and most of us, is that we learn from experience more than books and all this stuff. Books are wonderful and people just aren't open-minded to things, but urine therapy and parasites in particular are very easy to experience once we do the detox. And once we do the urine therapy, we start seeing these things come out from experience, and then we know they're real. And one of them that's been on my mind lately, because I'm not perfect with my health, I'm still always working towards it. I can feel when parasites are coming out, because what happens with me is I get an itchy bum. So when I get an itchy, yes, I wipe my ass properly, getting a bit personal here, but you know, that itchy bum feeling after I've taken in some really powerful medicine like aged urine, fresh urine, it's not a coincidence that that is the parasites coming out. And you're absolutely right, Guy, that we have way too many. It's not a question of they are good ones, yes, but the urine has a way, medicine like that has a way of only taking out the bad stuff. Urine therapy only takes out the heavy metals and the bad stuff, and it leaves, because it's like a negatively charged thing, and positively charged is the parasites that shouldn't be there, the heavy metals. So yeah, the parasites that will only get taken out are the bad ones, and they're real because you'll feel them. You'll feel this itchiness. You'll see them on the toilet if you do enemas with aged urine. You go fasting for long enough and you do an enema. You'll see all these kind of things, and you'll feel better. You'll feel better, and you'll think, oh, I feel better now this thing's gone out. It must be something that's negative in my body, or not serving a purpose. The only ones that will come out are the ones that are not serving a purpose. The good ones will stay in. They'll never go out from the medicine. But yes, so to answer your question, I think the experience of these things is king. And I've heard so many stories about people doing parasite cleanses, not even with urine, anything. And it just, them saying their transformation, their consciousness and happiness and is phenomenal once this stuff starts coming out.
Yeah, I know a lot of people out there suffer with depression, anxiety, paranoia, even schizophrenia. And I wonder how much of that would be, again, not medical advice or anything like that. I'm not a doctor, but I wonder how much of that might be, if not caused, at least worsened by the parasitic population in their intestines, because that's where we produce a lot of the serotonin and other neurohormones, neurochemistry. It's not actually produced in the brain as much as the gut. Yeah. So, I just see a lot of people out there suffering needlessly, and it's just sad to see that they're not open to trying different things. And it's almost like they're attached or addicted to being miserable. And I was like that myself, but then I started seeing this stuff come out in the toilet, and then I started to feel better. I thought my problems were to do with other things, but it was actually a lot more with how my thinking was being controlled by what was inside my body.
Deep. Yeah, you thought it was you, but you didn't realize that when they came out that the lifting of consciousness was actually something holding down your consciousness and controlling you in that negative state. Like, and that's really scary. That's really scary. Like, I've met people that are. Do you know another thing I was thinking while you were talking there? I think hunger and overeating is a parasite. It definitely is a part of it, but a huge part of hunger and overeating is when people get hangry, for example, and they have to eat 3 meals a day plus snacks. What's going on is actually the parasite. They think it's them that's hungry. It's not. It's parasites that are literally in the tummy, like you said, controlling you. They're making you want to eat, and then that's why you get angry when you don't eat. That's why you get depressed when you don't eat all the time, because these things are controlling. They need feeding. They thrive on chaos and you eating crap foods, and you eating not even crap food, you eating all the time. If you eat all the time and eating crap, they thrive on that. If you don't look after your health, parasites thrive, and they love it. They can control you. They can, like you said, with your personality, they literally make you depressed. They make you lower vibration. They'll make you I've seen people's eyes change with parasites and hunger, and you know, they have to eat their McDonald's, and if they don't, I've seen them stuff down McDonald's with parasite control in their eyes, and it looks really weird, bro. It's very strange stuff to see. It's scary. It's a bit scary.
It makes you think that we're actually living on a zombie infested planet. And yeah, the thing is, those McDonald's and Hungry Jack's, I think it might be called Burger King where you live, these places, they're open 24 hours, and when people want a midnight snack, they're not going for like a green juice or, you know, a fresh avocado or something. They're going for those greasy foods with the trans fats and all the stuff that the parasites love eating.
Yep, and to go deeper on that, the absolute worst time to eat any food for parasites and for your health is midnight. At nighttime, when the sun goes down, is bad, but right at midnight, that time when your body is supposed to be really resting and fasting, doing a little, because we all fast at nighttime, that's the worst time for parasites. So parasites are midnight snacks. Let's proliferate. Let's get him eating midnight. It's madness, that midnight snack business. It's okay if you're going to eat good foods, but any foods really, it's darkness is the time to heal and rest, and not to feed parasites.
So sun gazing. Let's move on to sun gazing now. That's another subject which I've dabbled in a bit. I know some people sun gaze for about 45 minutes or so, but for me, I find when I get into a rhythm, when I start doing it every day, I can get up to about 10 minutes maybe, but that's sort of like my upper threshold.
What time are you doing it? What times of days? What, sunrise, midday, or sunset, or
sunrise? Oh no, definitely not midday. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make sure that the UV index is 0, because obviously they say don't stare at the sun. The reason being because the UV light is going to burn your retina. But what a lot of people don't realize is before a certain time and after a certain time, it's actually safe to look at the sun because the UV index is 0.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the benefits of, especially when it's done long term? And I guess probably the same principle. How can we build up, like with the urine? How can we build up with the sun gazing to make it more of a regular practice with more long-term benefits?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad that you've experienced that, and you experienced days and days on end. I think the general advice to people is that you just build up tolerance by practice of these powerful therapies. And one of them is what you just said. Sunrise and sunset are ideal times to look at the sun because the sun is weaker. There is no UVB, but there is something else called red light therapy. Now, people think the sun, they don't realize, oh, the sun's all the same color. No, the sun is actually changing colors constantly throughout the day. And it's predominantly red, and it's got near, mid to far invisible red too at sunrise time, a little bit before, a little bit after. So when you look at the sun, which we've told don't make us blind, never look at the sun any time. When you look at the sun with your eyes are like the most important photoreceptor of light, bar none. Your skin is a solar panel too, but your eyes are most important. So when you receive that red light nutrition, it goes into this bloodstreams right at the back of the eyes. The red light gets in super easy because this is very porous air. It's not like skin and thick. It's very thin, right? It's designed for it. So the red light goes in. It lights up you. If you believe in chakras, it'll light up your entire chakra system. The red color base of the red chakra. The red tells your brain to make hormones early in the morning for sunrise. So you'll make the right hormones of dopamine, serotonin, melatonin. It will make for the nighttime. So it's you're optimizing your hormones. You're boosting your chakra colors if you believe that. You're also lighting up your mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. The red light frequency literally lights up mitochondria, which gives you tons and tons of energy. Did you notice tons of energy when you were doing that, by the way, Guy, when you're doing the sunrise? Sun
Yeah, definitely. I haven't been doing it lately, but I think after this conversation, I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah, one of the key benefits of red light therapy generally, there's red light machines, the sunrise, sunset, without even sun gazing. What happens is the mitochondria gets lit up, and the mitochondria give you energy. So it's a massive dose of energy to the system when you do sunrise or sunset sun gazing. And people should Start slowly if you're afraid, but what people be surprised again, like urine therapy, people worry that it's going to taste disgusting. Same with sunrise, sunset, sungazing. People are going to worry that they're going to be hard. You know this. You'll find that it's actually quite easy to look at the sun for a good couple of minutes without any eye breakage because it's so weak. It's not a powerful midday sun.
Hey guys, I'm excited to present the Humansplaining In-Depth Facebook group. And what it is, it's a group for the guests that have appeared on this show, as well as Patreon subscribers. So if you'd like to join that group, join in the discussion, suggest ideas for future episodes, bounce different ideas back and forth, collaborate, work on your own projects, advertise any products or services that you provide, which are obviously they have to be things that are helping humanity, helping us to evolve as a species. You're welcome to advertise that. And yeah, just network, connect, find support. If you'd like to be a part of that, go over to Patreon and subscribe. And then once you've done that, send an email over to humansplainingpodcast@gmail.com. That's humansplainingpodcast@gmail.com. And in that email, forward your Patreon receipt as well as your name on Facebook, and I'll add you to the group. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks, guys.
Basically, sunrise, sunset, sungazing, you can start small and do it timidly if you want to, or you can rush head on in like we do. And it just gives you so much energy, and it makes you sleep better at nighttime. It's healing to the body. It feels right. It raises my vibration, and I love it. And you'll get addicted to it once you start doing it and get on those building momentum with it. It's a life-changing protocol for sure.
And yeah, I was just thinking, people will stare at their phone and they're not concerned about the damage that that's doing to their eyes. But then, because so-and-so said so, they don't look at them. So yeah, and again, with the urine, it's a similar sort of thing. We're told that's bad for us, but then the same people will go and take pharmaceuticals, which have their own set of side effects, which are just effects.
Exactly. You know what I think? I think they're both put in place deliberately to control the masses, keep us unhealthy. So urine is a waste product. Where did we learn that? I learned that somewhere when I was a couple of months old, and it never left me. My parents told me, everyone around me told me, so I was indoctrinated. Same with the sun. People would tell me the same thing with the sun. They'll say, never ever look at the sun. And I'm like, those two are deliberately there now because they're the most powerful, sun and urine. Well, not the most powerful, but they are very powerful. And yeah, they probably are the most powerful too. So yeah, it's not an accident. It's an actual conspiracy to make people unhealthy and depopulate the earth. And they're doing a fabulous job on a lot of people, but that's okay because at least we know. And I'm grateful for the people that have taught me and it's not been lost. This knowledge is still out there. So that's how we knew about it. And we pass it on to people watching this, and you only give this knowledge to those that are ready. It's pointless on people that aren't.
Yeah. I can already imagine some of the flack that some people will give me for having this conversation, but it's their loss ultimately. Yeah.
If it's your first on urine therapy, people are very averse to that. But I would say to them that don't form an opinion on something that you can so easily disprove by your own experience. Yeah, that's right. If you have an opinion on something, you can go and check that your opinion is correct, because you make urine every day, guys. You can go and check and put it on your skin and watch if it kills you or makes you feel worse. No, you'll find it makes you feel better. You go and drink it and see if it makes you feel worse or better. It's very simple to disprove.
Yes, yeah, and people will always trust the guy in the lab coat over their own experience, which I find just completely baffling, because that's not been I've always been someone who's, I guess, a glitch in the matrix, like Neo, so to speak, and I think you're probably the same. Yeah. Some people, as they say in the Matrix movie, as Morpheus says to Neo, are some people just so glued into the Matrix, so attached to it that they'll defend it? And is there just no hope for some people, do you think? I'd like to think that there's hope for all of us, but I'm not sure.
That's a good question. So what's the question? Do I think that some people, there's hope for them, or do we think some people are completely lost?
Yeah. Some people just as you know, there was that meme about NPCs, non-playable characters.
Yes.
Are some people out there just like that, or is it more a case that they're not soulless beings, but they've just chosen to take on that role?
That's a really big question. I've been toying and throwing. I've heard this idea of recently of soulless beings, and the implication that some people are saying that most people are soulless, like 1 in 5,000 isn't, and all around us are soulless. I'm confused, so I'm not confident on what I know and on that opinion. But my opinion at the moment is we all have souls, but some people are lost. It doesn't mean they're soulless. I mean, I know that's popular at the moment, but yeah, I think that we're all, whether they've been, the way I look at it is they've been put on Earth to help our growth and for us to receive the lessons, and they're not been chosen, or like I think we entered into a contract, maybe I believe in soul contracts. So me and you have been chosen we chose to wake up in this life and to do our stuff and to help as a minority, and they are there as player characters, non-player characters, but actually they're kind of, I don't know if they're non-player characters because they're a character in my movie. All the people that don't get it are a big part of my movie because they're the ones that drive me to carry on. So I don't know if they're non-players actually. It seems like they're non-players, but actually they help me a lot. They teach me a lot of lessons. And actually the biggest one they teach me is to learn to accept people as they are. That's a spiritual concept I really resonate with. I'm getting better at. I'm sure you're the same. Like all the masses we're surrounded about, are we developing in our ability to accept them as they are? Because I feel like it's not their fault that they're in this role, or non-player character role, where they're just trying to get by in duality, which is tough for everybody. But they're not awake, and they never will be in this incarnation. So yeah.
I'm judging myself, judging other people. I know it doesn't start. There's just this pull into judgment and to pick a side. And what are some techniques or tools or some, I guess, mindful practices that could maybe help us to break out of judgment and go into more of a observer mode that you found useful, like meditation, or what sort of things have helped you?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth of what I was going to. Yeah, that meditation is definitely one. It's a high vibration tool. So is urine therapy, but that's okay. So is sungazing, that's okay. Meditation is one that most people know, even if they haven't done it regularly. They know that that's a really good way to say, just to take a step back, to raise your vibration, realize that maybe we are possibly more than this meat suit. And also it's a great one to realize that happiness comes within. Yeah, there's a concept everyone says, like a cliche. When you meditate, do transcendental meditation or mindfulness daily, and you build up that habit, you'll start to realize that the happiness comes from within. And yeah, we are not who we think we are on this plane. Also, another one, bro, I don't know if you want to go there today, but psychedelics is one for people. It definitely works, but that'll take, I guess, for someone that's non-woke, might take a little bit of pushing, but that's a great one to realize that, this reality is not what I thought it was. This ego is a false construct, and beyond that there is much more.
Yeah, so psychedelics is something that I've had some experience in, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it to anyone because I've just seen how it can go wrong, and in a certain sense it went wrong for me, which is why I can't recommend it. But
to tell us more, I'm curious. Tell me, what did you take too much? Did you take too much of magic mushrooms or something?
It's not so much the dosage; it was the environment. It wasn't a controlled environment.
Right.
But here's the thing, because I believe in alchemizing whatever it is that we go through in life. So even if you have a quote unquote bad trip, ultimately it can still serve you. But yeah, I think there's probably smoother, gentler ways to
go in hardcore.
A point of self-realization without the drug. So that's why I wouldn't point anyone in that direction. If anyone's looking to expand their consciousness, I would point them towards meditation first and foremost, and maybe sungazing and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, with that, I disagree a little bit, because I'd say there's something called microdosing with psychedelics, which is the gentle way of easing in. That's a really gentle way of uplifting your consciousness without taking too much and scaring yourself. So that's very that's becoming really that's going to blow up, I think, in the next decade or so. Microdosing on magic mushrooms, microdosing on LSD. That's, I predict, will become huge for just normal people to. Because they're getting more and more studies now that magic mushrooms are relieving depression in small amounts. This is microdosing, by the way. It's very small amounts of these things. So that could potentially be a way people either look into or just keep your eyes open, because the mainstream media is going to explode with that, I think, in the future, this microdosing of psychedelics. I hope, anyway. I think so. It's happening. So, yeah.
Yeah. If Joe Rogan's talking about something, then it's sort of getting to that point where the mainstream media or the mainstream culture is ready to embrace it. It's funny because, like, I started doing jiu-jitsu, and for people who don't do jiu-jitsu, I was thinking it must look like a cult the way that jiu-jitsu people talk about it, because it really is like a tool for personal transformation. It teaches you a lot about your ego, a lot about your limitations, what you need to work on, character flaws, that sort of thing. And yeah, all of a sudden, jiu-jitsu is just blown up around the world, even though it was the tipping point where it started to gain traction was maybe in the 90s during the first UFCs. But only recently, it seems like everyone's doing jiu-jitsu now. So now that, so I guess there was like the Terence McKenna types that were talking about psychedelics. Now it's on the Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah, you're probably going to see, I don't know, maybe deregulation in a lot of Western countries with these sort of things. Maybe we'll see more public availability for this stuff.
That will come in the future. You know, another one, whilst you're talking about jiu-jitsu, one that's exploded is yoga, because before the 1930s, no one was doing yoga around the world, and now in the last 70, 80 years, and now it's predominantly women too. This is a great healing modality, by the way, yoga. I do it every day. I did half an hour before I came and spoke to you. That's a great one to lift your consciousness up, and to get a little bit of clarity so you can see what's going on and get into that vibration where you can start waking up. It really will. And it's not a complicated thing. You can do very simple yoga poses. You can go on the internet, go on YouTube, find it. You don't have to go to a yoga course. I've been to one yoga course in my life. I do it daily. I bought a book called Yoga Self-Taught, funny enough, and I do the routines on that, and I love them to bits. So you don't even need to go and make an excuse like I need to do a yoga class. You can just go and learn yourself on YouTube and read a book. So that's a good one.
Yeah, I think one thing that I don't personally do a lot of yoga. I've dabbled a little bit, but it's not a regular practice of mine. But one thing that I have found is that the more flexible and supple the body is, the more flexible and supple the mind is. And the stronger the body is, the stronger the mind is. So there was sort of this divide in the Western world between the mind and the body, and so the mind was left up to the philosophers. The body was left up to the scientists and the philosophers, and the mind or the soul was left up to the church. But now it's like we're reaching a point where we're realizing that actually it's all interconnected, and you can't look at one without the other, because there's always that as above, so below correspondence with mind and body, just as there is with the as above, so below correspondence of what's happening down here on planet Earth versus what's happening in the cosmos. So it's quite clear to me, and I'm sure to you and to a lot of people maybe watching this, that we're at a critical point on the cosmic clock where those who want to start elevating their consciousness are going to have a much easier time than maybe people who were alive 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, where you'd get persecuted and thrown in prison, executed just for even talking about this stuff. Now it's like everyone's talking about it. Everyone's practicing meditation. Everyone's looking into different ways of looking at things and questioning the status quo. So,
Yeah.
Vaccines
is another one. Vaccines is another one. Everyone's questioning vaccines now. They got Vaxxed is out. That's mainstream movies now coming out on celebrities speaking out against vaccines and the badness of them. That's a great example of waking up. That's just happening. It's all around us.
And even so, there's still this fear programming that's built into a lot of people, where even though it's maybe safe or safer to talk about these things and to explore these things, still I feel a lot of people are being held back by fear, particularly around social ostracism. They're afraid of being alienated from, alienated from their friends and family for even entertaining the possibility that there might be other ways of looking at things.
So, I mean, that's kind of true though. That because I feel like that's the story of our lives. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm put myself up as a guy that's into urine therapy, and that definitely even within my family, and that put me up into more of a black sheep status and more of you're a crazy man. I think part of the process for us is to be ostracized because we entered this realm because the world's so upside down. If you speak the truth, if you stand by your truth and the truth, you will be ostracized in a world full of lies. So our journey is constantly a journey of getting used to and acclimatizing to the fact that either we bandy together and meet each other in real life and build communities, or we stay surrounded by the wrong people. We can do that too. We got a choice. Do we stay here? Do we go? Do we join together? But it's just a part of life that we're always going to be ostracized. But that makes warriors too. That's not a bad thing. It gives you strength, character, confidence, and it makes you more determined. It makes you see what you want from life. Do you want to stand by your truth, or do you want to be weak and go with the masses? But you get accepted. It's nice to be accepted too. So it's okay to live a lie and be accepted. That's fine. I mean, that sounds harsh, and that's not how they think, but it is actually what they're doing. They're living a lie to get acceptance. And yeah, I've chosen, you've chosen the warrior's path, the hero's journey, as Joseph Campbell said. And I'm greatly grateful. That doesn't make any sense. I'm greatly grateful, but I'm grateful for the hero's journey that I am undertaking. Definitely.
And yeah, part of the hero's journey is actually refusing the call. So if you decide to live a lie, you're still actually on the hero's journey, funnily enough.
I didn't know that. Say that again. So if you say no to the hero's journey, you refuse it, which most people do, they're still on it. Yeah. How is that? I'm interested.
Well, initially what happens on the hero's journey is the hero in their early phase, they'll reach a point where they're tested and they sort of fail that test. And then they go back to their old way of doing things, but they're not happy anymore. Whereas before they were happy in their ignorance. Now that they've seen, there's this other world, they try and jump across, sort of like Neo in the Matrix when he loads the jump program and he falls the first time. And they're like, what does this mean? It doesn't mean anything. Everyone falls the first time. And so it's like you kind of have to fail that first time, or maybe 1,000 times, or however many times, and go back to, but I need my social acceptance. I need my ice cream, drinking urine. I mean, I've watched a lot of documentaries about it, but I'm not actually going to do it,
Yeah.
And then all of that going back and forth in your mind about which world you're going to live in, and you choose the blue pill over and over again until you choose the red pill.
Oh, that's really interesting. Are you suggesting that could also be beyond this light incarnation? So you could keep taking the blue. So you get an opportunity to take both pills, which I think everyone gets. That's my opinion, might be wrong. And you're saying that they'll keep taking the blue, maybe in this entire life, and then maybe in another life, you're saying in a future life, they'll take the right one? Is that what you're saying with the hero's journey?
I think so. But I'm not, this is where haven't, and maybe it doesn't matter for me personally, but it's just an interesting thought experiment. Yeah. Does everyone eventually reach a point where they take the red pill in some lifetime, eternally here forever? And actually, someone posed that question to the Buddha, and he didn't actually provide an answer. I guess, yeah.
I don't know that.
Because kind of actual person asking the question. It's not actually going to help them on their journey. It's just sort of speculation, which I do a lot of, but it's not neither here nor there.
Yeah, I feel like if you were say like a person that had opportunity to wake up, but took the blue pill, which is not us, but they kept taking it over and over and over again, I feel like that would degrade your soul, and it would make you depressed subconsciously, even though you betray the idea of happiness, because your soul really does know what is the truth. So if you're constantly you're getting loads of opportunities, you're constantly, you know the truth, you opportunity, you keep going no, refuse. You're putting like an overlay system of pretend happiness, which is just the soul knows the truth. And I feel like I feel sorry for a lot of people, because I feel there's a lot of people like that, and I don't want to use it from an ego place, feel sorry, only because I'm comparing it what you could be and what life is like when you do live your purpose and you do take that red pill. Yes, taking a red pill is painful initially and still tough for us now, but it's a lot better a life, in my opinion, than living a lie and pretending you're happy. But you can never be happy if you take the blue pill on any topic over and over again. And even when it goes to working 9-to-5 jobs and doing a job you hate, that's a great example of a blue pill one. That's, if you just doing a job you hate constantly and you're making excuses and saying, oh, I just need the money, I need it for the kids, and that's just going to degrade your soul again and again. You have choice nowadays to do what you love and work towards that. I mean, there's people like me and you and loads of other people that are starting to, make money or help people for free or whatever, and doing what we love is really important, and people don't do it. So.
Yeah, that was definitely me for far too long. At least 10 years. Just so I'm very familiar with the degradation of the soul, and every time you sort of refuse the call, it does get harder. So I would just say to anyone out there who feels that call from their soul, from their intuition, don't delay. Act now, because you're only making it harder for yourself in the long term.
Exactly. I'd add on that, the hero's journey, yes, it is a solo thing, but look what's happened. My hero's journey, your hero's journey, I wasn't alone. I went on Facebook after I got into urine therapy. I was so excited. I typed in urine therapy on the groups, and then I added people. I added myself to groups. This was about three years ago now. I added myself to groups. It was unknown on there, and then I just started making friends, and now I built up a little reputation, and I've bought my own brand, Listing of Harry. I've written books, and this all started because I reached out to people and I said, I'm on a journey. I've got to walk it by myself, but I'm not alone. We all can help each other. There's people out there like me, you, and there's so many on Facebook, social media, in the real world too. There's many. It feels like we're alone, but we're not. So when you do decide to walk your hero's journey, understand that yes, you'll have to do it yourself. No one's going to hold your hand, but you can reach out to people that are above you, below you, and at the same level as you to help you and to guide you. And that's important to know. You're not really alone. There's many of us, right?
That's the ultimate illusion, isn't it? The illusion of separation, and the more entangled you get with your ego, the more you buy into that illusion, and then you do end up having more enemies, more people against you.
Another one with that, people think that I've been in this, I'm learning lessons too even now. I used to think that my suffering was the worst in the world, and my ego was like, but Harry, no one's suffered more than you. Now what's happening a lot lately is I'm doing a lot of networking, and I'm talking to people about their stories and sharing it, and I'm starting to realize I knew logically that didn't make any sense, that I'm the suffering the worst in the world, but I didn't feel it emotionally. Now I'm starting to feel emotionally and share stories with people and see it in real life, that we all suffer in life. It's not I'm suffering more than you. But separation, it's not ego separation, I suffer more than you. It's like suffering is part of duality that we come into, but it's a shared experience, and we can bond over that. We can create friendships, and we can lift each other up.
Yeah, that's a big one. The oppression Olympics, where it's like, where someone they've had a traumatic childhood or something, and then they start comparing themselves to you, and then it's like, oh well, I had a much worse childhood than you. Your childhood was bad, but mine was worse, and it's like they use that to justify not changing. It's like, okay, we might not have all suffered equally, but comparing our suffering doesn't alleviate the suffering that you have. You still have to do something about it. So it doesn't really matter where you're starting from. The point is, where are you going next? Are you going deeper into the suffering, or are you going to try to climb out maybe?
Yeah, that's deep. And understanding that at the base level, every human is connected and the same. We're all derived from source. And that means that what makes me happy in duality makes you happy in duality. I'll give you an example. What makes me happy is making other people happy. And whether that giving my gift, we all come in here with gifts. So when you give my gift, when we give our gifts, we become happy. The psychology of each human is the same. So therefore, if you're suffering, you can get out of it the same way by helping other people. For example, everyone has the same mechanisms that apply to all humans. Same with physical health. Pretty much all the same physical health protocols. Sungazing, urine therapy, improved for everyone. So it's not unique to you, you're suffering. It's everyone's suffering all the time. And to add on to that, in a weird way of looking at it, the more you suffer, the more chance you have of going on that hero's journey anyway. It's not a bad thing. So even if you are playing a victim, hello, I've done that. I've been there. I know what it feels like to be a victim, but I made a choice. I'm sure you did too. You get to a point where you think, right, enough's enough. No more victim bullshit. I can't go on like this because I'm just going to end up too crazy and weird. I have to make that journey. And you do. You slay the dragon, and it's a long journey. You don't change overnight. This is another problem with the journey. People think that people want results. According to the Matrix teaches us, give us results tomorrow, fix me tomorrow, let me take the magic pill. And everything in society is a magic pill. And that's another conspiracy, the magic pills mentality they put out. And the reason why they put it out there is to give people false hope, because that's not how humans change. Our human nature, we don't change overnight. We can make a change overnight that takes us in the right direction. We don't actually magically manifest into awesome beings in one day. It's not possible. But the Matrix wants you to believe that if you take that pill, you're going to remove cancer. If you go under chemotherapy, you're going to be fine. If you watch another one's porn, if you get that instant gratification, you're going to feel amazing. Forget about getting good with girls and the normal way by talking. All the shit. If you eat that fast food, you're going to feel great. But there's consequences to these instant gratification things that cost us low vibrations. Yeah.
Instant gratification is so easy nowadays as well. Like it's so easy to just get sucked into that whole world. And just even myself, like I'm very much aware of how detrimental instant gratification is, and yet I'm still on my phone like way more than I'd like to be.
Hard, isn't it? Yeah, it's hard because it's our nature to want to be lazy. I mean, not that we're bad people. It's human nature to want that instant kind of like, because it gives us a buzz and it gives us dopamine or whatever. But I've certainly learned, you were the same, that the warrior's, the hero's journey does not require, it requires slow, change takes time, bro. If you want to be grateful and you're ungrateful your entire life, it takes time. If you were negative and a victim your entire life, do you think tomorrow you're just going to become super positive? No. I'll tell you something. I used to be super negative and hate everyone. And now I love people, but it didn't happen overnight. It's taken, I'm 10 years into this, and probably about six or 7 years I started to really get some momentum. That was 6-7 years of just going about a process without much love, if I'm being honest, but just doing the right things. So I just did the right things every day, and I loved it a little. No, actually, no, that's not true. I didn't love the first few years. I really hated the process of what I was doing, but my soul was telling me, keep doing the right thing, keep doing the right thing. And eventually I got to this place of, I can honestly say now I'm in a place where I'm helping people, and that's what makes me happy. Helping people is, and putting myself in a position where I can help a lot of people makes me happy. So I can say now that I'm in that position. I would carry on.
Yeah. A lot of ground. So yeah, there's been a strong emphasis on, I guess, the neophytes, or the people that are maybe just starting their journey or wondering whether or not they should take the call. Yeah, have you got any like final thoughts to sort of summarize to help such people?
Yeah, sure. The way I deal with any person that is open, interested, is you have to be open-minded and don't think that you know everything in this universe. There's way too much to know, and also go slow. People want results quick, and that's not how change works. If you want to change, Don't expect to be whatever is future ideal self tomorrow. Just start taking little action steps. And I mean little action steps like we talked about earlier. I mean like, wow, I just grounded on the earth for like 20 seconds. I put on my bare feet for 20 seconds. And you've never done it before. And like, whoa, that's a celebration. Be proud. Like, people should be proud. You should be proud if you're making an improvement in your life, no matter how small it is. Because other people be like, oh, that's not a lot. No, this is you we're talking about. It's your journey. Compare yourself to you. That's the message I want to leave with. Don't compare yourself with other people in health. Don't compare yourself with how healthy you are compared to me. I'm not your story. You're your own story. You take action and improve on yourself and be happy for little changes. Oh, you've had a grateful thought once in the day. You never did that before. Well done. You sungazed for like 5-10 seconds today. Well done. You took away one snack that you normally eat on a day. You normally eat loads. You had one less snack than normal. You thought, oh, I'll just skip it. You know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot to you. So you start getting happy about your journey, and then the magic will happen when stop comparing yourself to other people. You'll think, I'm improving. Because listen, at the end of the day, I don't live in your body. I don't live in anyone's body. You live in your body. So you know how you feel. If you're improving yourself slowly, congratulations, you'll be happy. Doesn't matter about me. It's about you. It's about your journey. So I leave them with that message. Yeah.
Yeah, very well said, man. So do you have any websites, or where can people find your books, or any sort of links that you'd like to drop? I'll put them in the description.
Oh, sure, Guy. Thank you very much. So people can find me on Facebook. My name is Harry Mattadeen. Maybe you'll tag me. I'll put it on. You'll see me in the comments commenting, you guys. So yeah, I'm Harry Mattadeen on Facebook. I've got a YouTube channel. I love you guys if you're interested in health. It's all about physical health, and there's a lot bit of spiritual stuff too, mainly physical health. Now that's the tag Holistic Health with Harry. Just one word, or you can put it in spaces. You'll find me there. I have written 4 books, and again, if you want to find them, they're available on Amazon. You can type my full name, Harry Mattadeen, or you can type in the specific titles: aged urine, sunlight, sungazing, negative ions, transcendental. But it's easier if you typed in my name, Harry Mattadeen, and find my books on there. So yeah, those are my official. I haven't got a site yet. That's coming in the future, and there's a lot more to come from me. But for the time being, I'm trying my best to improve. Funny roundabout circles. I'm also doing slowly, so I'm not on all social media. Like, I haven't got a website yet, but I'm improving slowly, and I'm happy with where I'm at. So those are the channels you can find me. Hit me up if anyone has any questions. I'm happy to help for free. If you've got questions on urine therapy, sunlight, how to do it, please hit me up, or hit Guy up as well. Guy's very informative too. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Harry. And thanks everyone for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
That was awesome, man.